Guys, it's Melanie, and today I'm going to be showing you how I make these really cute little wax tarts, which I store in my recycled Bath & Body Works 3-wick candle jars. This is what they look like. I'm just going to grab one out and show it to you. And all that I do is I take a candle. Any kind of candle will do. I'm going to be showing you this with a 1-wick Bath & Body Works candle. They used to actually sell these in store, but don't so much anymore. They mostly use these as the testers for the wallflowers now, and they do seem to sell them around the semi-annual sale times, but they are not a regular staple on their shelves any longer. I used to actually buy these quite a bit in the past. So all I do is I take one of these and a warmer, and I take an ice cube tray. And it's super simple. I'm going to be showing you the process towards the end of this video. However, I really feel like it's important for me to explain to you why I am doing this because there's some reasons behind it, and I'm going to also tell you about some alternatives if you're not interested in making wax tarts but you are interested in using your candles in other ways other than lighting them, because there are lots of options out there. So okay, let's get into why I am no longer burning as many candles. So reason is that I have known for a very long time that candle soot can become an issue, and the longer you burn candles, the more that you burn at any given time, the bigger your soot issue becomes over the course of time. So recently I was doing some spring cleaning and I was wiping down my windows and looking at my walls and looking at my ceilings, and it really wasn't very pretty. I have obviously been an avid candle burner for quite some time. You guys have seen me do many Bath & Body Works, many Yankee Candle hauls, and so I've been burning those candles for years in my house. And unfortunately, even though in the back of my mind I always knew that like soot buildup could eventually become an issue, I just sort of ignored that fact until my husband and I started talking about potentially either selling or renting out our house in the near future. And then it got me thinking like, oh crap, like I'm gonna have to clean all this up. Whether we sell it or whether we rent it, like I certainly don't want anyone moving in here having to deal with like the soot from my candle burning. So I have become very conscious of the fact that there are certain candles and candles that come from specific stores that are kind of the worst offenders. And really, honestly, the two worst offenders out of all the candles that I burn, even the stuff that I buy at like TJ Maxx or Home Goods, the two worst ones are always Yankee Candle and Bath & Body Works. They produce a massive amount of soot. Bath & Body Works candles, their wicks can vary from like kind of average size like this guy here to really super thick wicks with like the lead or like a metal core running through them. This one does not have a metal core running through them. It looks like a cotton wick. But they just are the worst soot producers. There is soot that not only builds up around the outside, or I shouldn't say outside, but inside of the candle jar when you're burning the candles, but it just gets everywhere. If you look up at your ceiling, if you burn candles in a regular location, if you look up, you can start to see that soot build up over time. And it has kind of gotten to the point where we're probably going to have to repaint the house. And that is a daunting task because we live in an 800 square foot house. It took me forever to get all of our rooms painted. It was a friggin' nightmare. And the thought of having to repaint everything if I can't get it cleaned up well enough is just, it makes me kind of want to cry a little bit. So I have decided that from here on out, there will only be one brand or one type of candle that I will continue to burn in my house, and those are soy candles. I really obviously have a thing for the Light My Soy candles because I find them to be extremely well performing. They don't have the soot issues of the Bath & Body Works or Yankee candles. They are much cleaner burning. They frankly last longer, and the wicks don't seem to have any of like the crazy smoking issues that some of the other candles do. So I will continue to burn candles for ambiance, but I'm also not burning like multiple candles at a time. So I may light one candle in the morning, blow that one out, and light another candle in the afternoon if I would like a change of scent. I am home quite a bit because I work from home and I'm a work from home mom. So I like to have the scent in my house, but I also am not looking to destroy my walls and my ceiling any further than I already have. I find that soy is just a much cleaner burning wax. Most of the candles that you're going to find at Yankee are paraffin, and paraffin is a byproduct of making petroleum products. So when you are burning that wax and you see that wax going down, it's going somewhere and it's going into your air. I would like to not have those particles floating around in my air. So I'm not going to be burning any more Yankee candles for sure. The candles from Bath & Body Works are a vegetable blend. They probably do contain some paraffin. It does say on the bottom of here that this is vegetable wax, but I would probably put money on there being at least a little bit of paraffin in here. So, plus these are the ones that just, the wicks just get crazy sometimes and they either die out or they're like crazy thick and they have like flames shooting up. So, for me, I have decided to stick with the soy candles because I find that to be not quite as obnoxious to deal with. I still get the ambiance, and I have found a company that just makes a really great product that I enjoy. So that tirade aside, let's talk about some of the different options. If you do happen to have a rather large candle collection and you're like, yeah, I don't want to spend all my time making tarts. These you can put in any warmer that you have, whether it be a Scentsy, a Sensationals from Walmart, or an Ambisense from like Fred Meyer. You can use any, wax melter that you have. These, both the Yankee as well as the Bath & Body Works wax, tends to melt at a pretty low temperature, and I do find the throw to be very similar to when I burn the candles. Now, if you don't want to make these tarts, here's another option for you. There are candle warmers out there. The most expensive ones are usually in the like $30, $40, $50 range, but you can also find cheaper ones. I'm going to be putting some links down below for you. They're not affiliate links or anything. They're just links that other people have told me about for different types of warmers. The cheapest that you can find is actually, you can find one at Michael's, and you can use your 40% off coupon and get it for like $3. But it is basically a hot plate that you plug into the wall. It's got a cord, and you turn it on and you set your candle on that hot plate, and it basically melts the candle from the bottom up. Now, that's fine. I don't find those to be as great for larger candles, because if you're going to put a giant Yankee candle on top of that, it's going to take forever to melt. Also, each time that you melt all the wax completely, and you only start to get the scent once this completely melts, each time that you do that, you are losing the fragrance from the wax. It starts to dissipate over time. So I feel like that gets to be kind of a waste, because normally when I use one of these candles on a hot plate, and I'll show you the one that I have downstairs, it seems to make the wax not last quite as long, which is why I prefer to make the tarts, because I can use one or two of these in my warmers, and I usually get twice the amount of fragrance out of one candle than I would if I were to just melt the whole thing over and over and over again, if that makes sense. I just find that I get more out of each candle when I make the tarts, if that makes sense. Hopefully I'm making sense. The greatest thing in the world that you could possibly buy if you're looking to just melt your candles is one of the warmers that comes with a halogen lamp that basically, so you set it on a little plate, it doesn't warm them from the bottom, it warms from the top. So you have basically like a little, it looks like a table lamp, but you can buy like a lantern style. There's any number of styles available. It warms the candle from the top, and then it like basically creates the same size wax pool as if you were to light the candle. And this is probably a big duh, but just to put it out there, don't light the candle at the same time as you're melting it. Do one or the other. But basically it's going to melt the wax from the bottom down, and so you'll get a wax pool to probably about here. And you can do that for a couple of days, and once you notice that you're not getting any more like scent from the melted wax, you pour that wax off into a garbage can. You can soak it up with some cotton balls, whatever routine you normally use to like soak up wax out of your warmers or whatever, you can do that. So aside from like putting it in the freezer, because that's not going to work. So you're going to have to like pour it off or like sop it out of there somehow. Then you just put the candle back under the warmer, and then you've got that top layer gone. It will melt the next, like inch or so. And then you just keep doing that until you basically get the candle completely down and it's done. So you're going to kind of have to play with, how long you want that wax to sit in there before you deem it like necessary to get rid of it. That's going to vary person by person. For me, I really want the wax to be fairly strong. So when I use these wax tarts, for example, I will leave them in my warmers probably for 2 days max, and then I switch them out. And all I do is pop the holder that the wax is melting in into the freezer for like 10 minutes, and then it just pops right out, and then I can add, another 1 or 2 into that warmer. And the great thing is I can actually mix some of my scents. So in here I actually have gelato and raspberry peach macaron. So both of those together are a really great, delicious combination, and I've really enjoyed melting them together. So every 2 days I will pop the wax out and replace it, and basically I'm not dealing with the soot that way, and I'm getting a longer, I don't want to say burn because I'm not burning them, but I'm getting more use out of the candles, if that makes sense. So there are some options for you if you're not interested in making the tarts. Just purchase either a warmer that warms from the bottom, which is going to be your least expensive option, or I will put a link down below to a website where you can find just a buttload of like different types of candle warmers. So also, I wanted to mention, if you don't want to go out and buy, like, this was literally, it was 97 cents for 2 of these at Walmart. These are just the Sterilite ones. You can also use silicone trays. So if you have silicone ice cube trays in like fun little shapes like stars or moons or flip-flops or unicorns, I don't know, you can use silicone as well. It's actually pretty easy to get the wax out of the silicone. You can also reuse, if you have clamshells that you have used up from either Walmart or Scentsy or whatever, you can actually pour the wax into these as well, which, is totally fine. I kind of like reusing my containers, so for me it works best to just pop them out of here, plop them in here, and then like, sorry, I have a hair. What the hell? Oh, it's a cat fur. Where did that come from? Real life moment there. And then I just put this underneath my kitchen sink and then use it to replace the wax every couple days, like I said. So, all that being said, I feel like it's really benefiting me to melt my wax versus like burning it for all of my Bath & Body Works candles and my Yankee candles going forward. So I have a rather large collection, so I have melting material for years, literally. I think that I'm probably going to invest in one of those candle warmers because that just quite honestly appeals to me. The ease of those appeals to me, especially one of the ones where you melt from the top. But this is also kind of fun for me to do. And for my smaller, plug-in warmers that I put like in the kitchen and the bathrooms where they're higher up and away from the dog and the kid, I will continue to make wax tarts from time to time. And you don't have to make a bunch. Like, you can make these like as you use them up. So I'm just going to be putting some more gelato ones in here, which is what I'm going to show you next. And it's super, super simple, and I make them as I use them. So it's not like you have to have this giant like project day and make wax hearts out of all of your candles. You totally don't have to do that. So, all right, let's get into the tutorial part. Please let me know if you have any questions down below, and hopefully this was helpful to you. So keep watching and let's get into the tutorial. All right, guys, I quickly wanted to show you the candle warmer that I have. This one is from a company called Ambisense. These are all pretty generic. Light My Soy sells a really nice one, but you can find these at most Walmarts, most Fred Meyers, probably even at a Target. So you can see this is the hot plate style. This did also come with a little tray that you can put on there, and this looks a little funny because I just grabbed it out of the freezer. I just popped the wax that I was melting out of there. But you basically set this on top of there and then turn it on and then put your wax melts in there, and you know, they melt. So this one is nice because it's a dual purpose. But there's that gelato candle, and I've already taken the wick out, and basically once the wax melts, it's very easy to lift the wick out, and I just threw that into the garbage. And now I'm going to show you how I pour it into the ice cube trays. It's super simple, you guys. Okay, so this is not super hot, it's just warm, so it's very easy for me to handle this without using like hot pads or anything. The beauty of using a warmer is that it just doesn't get very hot. Please do not melt your candles on the stove. I feel like that's a really bad idea. So yes, use a candle warmer. Go buy one at Michael's and use a 40% off coupon. Okay, really quickly, this is my ice cube tray. You can see this is the one that I've used already in the past. You can see some wax there. And all I'm going to do is literally pour into the little molds. And that's it. So you can see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So one of these small Bath & Body Works candles usually makes about 6 or 7 of these particular ice cube tray molds. So anyway, now I'm just going to let this set up a little bit, and I'm going to show you how I pop it out. All right, guys, so this is the final step. These are all cooled. They have actually been cooled for about a couple of hours now, but I had to go run some errands. So basically what you're going to do at this point, and I'm hoping that I can do this without like having them shoot out everywhere, but I didn't put them in the freezer or anything. I'm basically just going to like turn this over, and they should very easily just pop out. Oop, there's that one that wants to hang on there. There it is. And that's it. There's your perfect little wax tarts. And like I said, these were like 97 cents for 2. So super inexpensive, even less expensive than the silicone molds. To clean this up, just, you know, kind of like you can push the wax off with like your fingernail or whatever and clean it up like that. And then just go ahead and put these into your jar and store them like that. I would recommend not storing them in like direct sunlight. Just kind of put them in a cool, dark place, and they keep perfectly in this sealed container. So that's it. All right. Hopefully that was helpful. Please leave me any questions down below. I hope you guys enjoyed.